The story begins with the grand opening of a dazzling nightclub, a place that seems to materialize out of the city's collective dreams of excess and escape. It might have been an old theater, a repurposed warehouse, or a brand new building designed just for this purpose. Its origins often left deliberately vague, adding to the mystery. On its first night, the club is a spectacle. Neon lights pulse in sync with the bass-heavy music spilling onto the streets, drawing in crowds like moths to a flame. The air is thick with the scent of expensive liquor, sweat, and perfume. The owner, sometimes a charismatic showman, other times a shadowy figure rarely seen, welcomes guests with a speech about how this place will be unlike any other, a sanctuary where the night never has to end. Inside, everything is designed to overwhelm the senses. Mirrors line the walls, creating an illusion of infinite space. The dance floor is a sea of bodies moving as one, bathed in strobe lights that make time feel distorted. The bartenders pour drinks that never seem to run out, and the music, whether it's live jazz, pulsing electronic beats, or something eerily timeless, wraps around the guests like a spell. Rumors about the place spread quickly. Some say famous musicians played secret sets here, only to vanish before dawn. Others whisper that the club's basement holds something sinister, an old speakeasy, a prohibition-area crime scene, or even a sealed-off underground chamber. But on opening night, none of that matters. The crowd is too lost in the euphoria of the moment, unaware that this place has already begun to claim them. By the time the last guests stumble out at sunrise, if any do, the nightclub has cemented its legend. But from this point on, something shifts. The line between reality and something far stranger begins to blur. The grand opening wasn't just a celebration. It was the first step into a trap. Weeks or months after its dazzling debut, the nightclub vanishes from the city's nightlife as abruptly as it appeared. No last call, no farewell party, just a sudden and inexplicable silence. One evening, the usual crowd gathers outside, buzzing with anticipation, only to find the doors barred. At first, they assume it's a temporary closure, maybe a police raid, a power failure, or a private event. But as hours pass and no staff emerges, unease sets in. The bouncers who once stood guard are gone. The neon sign, once a beacon in the darkness, is now a dead hulk of twisted glass. The windows, if there are any, reveal nothing but blackness inside, as if the building itself has swallowed the light. Rumors spread like wildfire. Some say the owner was arrested in the middle of the night, dragged away by authorities for crimes no one can name. Others claim the club never had an owner at all, that the permits were forged, the paperwork a fiction. A few even whisper about a final, frantic phone call from a bartender who screamed about doors that wouldn't open before the line went dead. The police arrive, but their investigations lead nowhere. The locks are changed, the entrances welded shut from the inside. When they finally break in, they find nothing but an empty shell. No furniture, no stage, no trace of the hundreds who were seen entering just the night before. The only evidence that anything was ever amiss is the faint smell of smoke, liquor, and perfume that lingers, no matter how much the building is scrubbed clean. Yet late at night, passers-by swear they can still hear the muffled thump of bass through the walls. Sometimes a flicker of light escapes through a crack, casting disco ball reflections on the pavement. And if you press your ear to the door, you might just catch the sound of laughter, distant, looping, like a record stuck on repeat. The city tries to forget. The club's name is struck from event listings, its social media pages wiped clean. But in the right light, if you look at the building from a certain angle, you can almost see the ghosts of the last night's crowd, still pressed against the glass, their hands leaving no prints. At first, no one noticed anything wrong. The music played on, the drinks kept coming, and the dance floor pulsed with bodies lost in the rhythm. But when the last stragglers finally checked their phones, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., sunrise creeping at the edges of the windows, they realized no time had passed at all. The clocks were frozen. The exits, once familiar, now led only to looping hallways or back into the crowd. Some tried the fire escapes, only to find them opening onto brick walls, the city outside just a painted illusion. The bartenders and staff vanished first, slipping into the shadows between one order and the next. The remaining patrons, too drunk or euphoric to panic, simply adjusted. The night stretched, and stretched, and stretched. If you could peer inside now, decades later, you'd see them exactly as they were. Laughing in slow motion, glasses raised in eternal toasts, limbs suspended mid-dance under lights that never dim. Their voices are layered into the music now, a chorus of whispers harmonizing with the synth. Their reflections still flicker in the mirrors, though no bodies stand before the glass. Sometimes when the city is quiet, you can hear them knocking, not for help, not for escape, but because they've mistaken your footsteps for a new guest arriving, and they're so eager to welcome you inside. Years pass. The nightclub becomes a wound in the city's memory, a place people hurry past without looking, though they can't say why. The building stands, but it doesn't decay. Graffiti peels off its walls like dead skin, and the city's pigeons avoid its ledges. The only thing that changes is the legend, growing teeth with every retelling. Construction crews hired to demolish it quit after the first day. They speak of tools going missing, of blueprints rewriting themselves overnight to show doors where none exist. One worker, pale and shaking, claims he saw a woman in a sequin dress dancing behind the boarded-up windows, until she turned, and her face was nothing but a smooth, blank mannequin's mask. Urban explorers break in, armed with cameras and bravado. Their footage shows empty rooms thick with dust, yes, but also fleeting things. A champagne flute, upright and full on the rotting bar. A single high-heeled shoe left mid-step on the stairwell, as if its owner evaporated. And always, always, the muffled throb of music just beneath the white noise of their recordings. None of them stay until morning. Some don't come out at all. The police reports are brief and bizarre. A 911 call from inside the club, dated 50 years after its closure, pleading for someone to turn the lights back on. A homeless man who swears he slept in the alley and woke to the sound of a roaring crowd, only to peer through a crack in the bricks and see the club alive again, packed with laughing figures in outdated clothes. The city's oldest bartender will tell you, if you buy him enough drinks, about the night a stranger stumbled into his modern dive bar reeking of cigarette smoke and cloying perfume. The man ordered a drink with a name no one had used since the 1960s, paid with waterlogged bills, and whispered, "They're saying last call soon." Finally. Before the bartender could answer, the stool was empty. Just a ring of condensation left behind, evaporating unnaturally fast. The truth about the nightclub is this: it was never meant to close. Not really. On a rainy autumn night, decades after its disappearance, a taxi driver picks up a fare outside the derelict building. A young woman shivering in a threadbare cocktail dress, her hair styled in an old-fashioned bob. She gives an address that no longer exists, and when the driver turns to tell her, the back seat is empty. Only the scent of gardenias lingers, and a single pearl earring on the upholstery, tarnished black. The next morning, the club's doors are wide open. Not broken, not pried apart. Opened from the inside. The interior is pristine, as if frozen the moment it sealed. Half-finished drinks sit sweating on tables. A saxophone rests against the stage, still warm. And the dance floor, but here's what the news cameras don't show. The basement door, hanging off its hinges. The stairs descending into impossible darkness. The faint click, click, click of a record needle stuck at the end of a groove, playing a sound that isn't music anymore. That night, every mirror in the city reflects something wrong. A figure standing too still in a crowded room. A hand pressing against the glass from the other side. People wake screaming about music in their walls, their pillows smelling of cigar smoke and spilled gin.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. See you in the next one. Bye for now.